No, we're not.
We're live now. Welcome, everybody.
Oh, just like that. Wow, cold start. No intro, no introduction, no waiting, no countdown. It's just straight in here. I like that. Just go.
Right to business.
You know what this is like? This is Hex and Friends.
Yeah.
You know, like Fox and Friends, they have the two guys and the girl. Hex and Friends. You should call it a show. But we have two very special guests. Many of you know them. I think all of you should know them. But we have Das Baum from Wake Up Hex and What the Hex show. One of the intellectuals in the community, one of the smartest people in the community. And also we have a wild SJ, also very, very bright and a big personality here. So I guess let's just go through the introductions. We could start with Das Baum, give a little background.
No, ladies first. What are you doing?
SJ and then Das Baum.
Okay, fine. Hi. Hey there. Hello there. How are you? It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on, Furu. I am a wild SJ. I have been part of this community going on, it'll be like, it's like almost 2 years. I started out with my journey into Hex in 2021, early 2021. I am Crypto Kool-Aid's on board. For those of you that know or do not know, you better know. He's one of the most brilliant, I think, game theory brains in this system. And it's been really cool over the years finding out, like, I didn't know him that way. We met dancing. And so that's how I knew him. Just we both love drum and bass and like would meet at the dance floor. And then come to find out he's this like HEX ecosystem, brilliant mind kind of guy. You know, like everyone who's met me, or often people who have met me who know that I'm Kool-Aid's on board have been like, man, that guy, like his brain, you know. So it's been really nice, like knowing I already had faith in him as a friend, right? But like, and he was kind enough or smart enough to be like, hey, you know, I know that you trust me as a friend, but I want you to listen to these other crypto content creators or Hex content creators because, right, like they're explaining it better than I am. But yeah, just to know that I feel really solid with having been brought into this community by him. Anyways, so shortly after that, I started to learn about Hex, and then I started to find out who the heck Richard was. And I think a huge reason that I'm still here and that I've been such an integral part of like keeping the things positive in this ecosystem is because the work that I did with SciVive and really delving into who Richard was, because I wanted to know, I wanted to feel secure in my investments in Hex. And you know, I know it's like I'm trusting the code and the math. I'm not necessarily trusting Richard as a person, but the more I got to know who he was through his work, through his books, the more solid I felt in terms of like, we're not going anywhere, y'all. Like, this is just the beginning. We're still early. Newsflash, still freaking early, right? Like, how long has Pulse been out? 3 months, maybe? We still got like 30 weeks to shake out all the baby soy boy lettuce hands. So I'm happy to be here. Super excited for like this whole day is full. I was on Wake Up Hex this morning with Das Baum and we're just gonna hang out all day. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and you have a stream later today also with Das Baum. You're doing the fasting.
Yep, yeah, 3 p.m. We're gonna be talking about fasting and quick shameless self promotion. Pulsechaintour.eth. You should check it out.
Links in the description.
Yeah, and on my thing right here. But yeah, I'm gonna be in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm really close to there right now. So Charlotte's our next stop. So if you or someone you know is in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, there's actually someone driving 8 hours to come to this event. So you have no excuse. If you're within 8 hours of Charlotte, North Carolina, come hang out. It's gonna be great. The end.
All right, you guys heard it there. So Das Baum, what about you?
Okay, hello. I have been in crypto since 2016, 2017. Got interested in the run-ups and the cycles, and then bought one of the bottoms. Lost all my money, regained it back, played everything, traded a little bit. found Richard Hart, and what really spoke to me was his really crude, truthful speech, and he was direct and he was really honest. That's what brought me. And he was he was what's the word? Not abrupt, abrasive. He was abrasive, and he didn't hold back, which I really liked. And it's a staple of people that are really honest, and this spoke to me. And I learned a lot from him in the beginning, and then it was just from there on part of the HEX community or Bitcoin HEX, like way in the beginning. And we were in the old Discords and in the Stripe chat and everything from the ground up, developing well, not developing, but playing with the game theory. I'm not a developer or anything, but I'm one of the admins in the Telegram chats, and I'm trying to keep everybody together, get everybody informed on things that are changing, keep the community active, and we have the Wake Up Hex stream that I've been doing and took over from Kinetics for like 120 episodes now. Started my own stream recently and my own YouTube channel, trying to homogenize it a little bit away from my fun old private channel. And yeah, just trucking along, trying to find dips, trying to find buy opportunities, and help everybody as much as possible in the ecosystem, especially with crypto security and support, and helping to get people onboarded basically to the ecosystem as a whole.
Yeah, great. And the work is great. Your Twitter's really good. I'm gonna need to start using it for my tabs for the stream. I was wondering like who to use, and I saw you had all the ones prepared for your stream this morning, and I'm like, wow, I should be referring more to your Twitter, which is really good. And we're gonna bring up and delve deep into your YouTube as well as the stream goes on. I originally titled this stream the depression. I think everyone's feeling the depression, so I was gonna go delve deep into it. But I guess, Das Baum, you have been in Bitcoin for a long time, and then obviously Hex Day 1. So looking at this, where we are at now, like how does that compare? Is it different? Does it feel any different or the same?
Where we are right now feels like the 3,000 bottom. And just this, like I posted it the other day, I think yesterday. It feels like there is so much positivity and everything, but just the price just didn't catch up to the sentiment yet. The people don't see that the ecosystem is changing, and everybody is still in this depressed state. The molecules, the bad mojo is still there. But people just don't realize that the times already changed, because I see only positive stuff. I know I'm a positive mindset guy in general, so I also have to be careful and see my own pitfalls, and have to consciously think about what is actually bad, what could destroy us as a community, or what could destroy my price entries or whatever personally for me. But I'm seeing just so much positive stuff and development right now, and it feels like that last dip after 6,000 to 3,000, and everybody said, "Oh, crypto is over; it's not going to coming back." But the price is still here. We are not at 10,000 that everybody thought we're going to go to 10,000, and this didn't happen. And this is exactly the same sentiment, because people were sitting at 3K. And I was actually one of the guys back then. I was like, yeah, it should return to the previous all-time high of 1,200, 1,300. That makes sense. It's going to touch it, and then it's going to go up. But we didn't go that extra leg lower that everybody was chanting and waiting for, because that was I think it was the one coin Ponzi where you had like two really big weekly resistances at the top. Everybody was expecting it to hit those levels again, and everybody was chanting for that near bottom, but it just didn't come. And we had the similar effect right now with the whole ecosystem of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto in general. Like, we didn't get those 10K, 8K what people were hoping for. It just went up from there because the insiders apparently know about the Bitcoin ETF and they're just buying everything up. It's it's the same sentiment as back then.
Yeah, well said. SG, I know you have your stream talk is stresses positivity, so maybe you could add to that, or
Yeah,
is there anything
I mean,
you have to say about that, or positivity in general?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we spoke about this a little bit on the previous show, right? Wake Up HEX, and I think that it really just comes down to your mindset. Like, I feel so fortunate, again, like not only because, you know, Kool-Aid is the one who got me into this ecosystem, but because of the way he explained it to me. Like, when I put my money into this ecosystem, I knew that it was a gamble. I knew I was, you know, it was money that I was willing to lose. If you're not willing to lose it, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, this can be, it's a extremely volatile investment. And if you're not going to be strong enough to see those dips happen and like not panic and not fudge yourself out and not fudge your own bags, this is not the game for you. Right. And I came into this whole thing already knowing this was a long-term play. I was looking for this. Like, I was basically looking for HEX without knowing it. And when I found it, it just made more sense for me than any other investment that I was looking at the time. So yeah, so that's, I mean, that's part, I think that's part of why I'm able to stay positive. I also, like Das Baum, I have a very positive mind framing. Like, my outlook on life is generally great, which, by the way, is great for longevity. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and it turns out that many of the super centenarians, the people that live over 110 years old, they are positive minded people. So not just good for your finances.
Stress hormones.
What's that?
Less stress hormones, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's not just good for, you know, getting through these bear markets, but it's good for your lifespan in general. So, you know, just keep a positive mind frame and know that there was someone just shared this meme, or like not it wasn't a meme, it was like a little video, like a short clip of, I think it was Nicolas Cage or someone talking about how this too shall pass. Right? You have to keep that in mind. Like, when the good times are here, they will pass, right? Like, that's gonna go away. And when the bad times are here, that's also gonna go away. So just keep your mind framing positive in that, you know, this too shall pass, and we're gonna get through this together. We're just gonna keep smiling. We're gonna have, like Somi says, we're gonna put our fuzzy slippers on and have our back straight and just like move on through this crazy roller coaster ride of a bear market. It's my first bear market. My first like crypto cycle ever. So, you know, like, of all of the ones to go through and to, you know, these are going to be the most diamondy hands ever. I guarantee you that.
No. My outlook is so positive that I'm sitting here with 99% down and I'm feeling, wow, my life is great. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then, you know, what is life going to throw at me next? I wonder if I'm going to get sick or something. I'm still thinking about these things. I'm like, oh, hopefully everything's going to be all right. But yeah, the more positive you are, the better it feels in life, even if everything is going down.
Absolutely.
I like it. I love the positivity. And speaking of positivity, smash the like button, everybody watching, and subscribe to the channel. And we have all the links, and we're going to go into them, but we do have all the links for Das Baum and SJ. A lot of links in there, so you guys have to open all of them. And
welcome to the infomercial.
Yeah, but I like the positivity. I like the attitude, but I also like practicality. So we got to get into practicality. First thing, practicality. So it's obvious that we're believers in the truth engine, in the system. But I guess the first question before we get into maybe like practical strategy, but throughout this prolonged down price action to the downside and consolidation, how are you guys dealing with it? As far as like, are you looking at the charts? Are there ways that you can pass the time, make it a more enjoyable experience, and all those things? I guess we could start with SJ and then Das Baum.
Sure. So I do not look at price much. Really, the only time I'm going to look at price is when I kind of hear throughout the general ecosystem that, people are yelling, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and I'm like, okay, can I buy the dip? Can I do that now? And if I can, I'll take a look at the price and be like, yeah, that feels good. I'm DCAing as much as I can into Pulse right now. Like, I feel great. My HEX bags are beautiful because I've been DCAing into HEX forever. And at this point, I stacked for Pulse and PulseX, but I feel like Pulse is the thing for me right now to DCA into. So yeah, kind of short answer to that. I don't really look at price. For me, it's more about seeing the sentiment in the community and wanting to do what I can do because I'm a positive person to kind of combat that and let people know, just like we were talking about, that this too shall pass. Like, we don't, just because price is down, doesn't mean it's going to stay there. It's not going to stay there forever. Right? We have to keep that in mind. And I really feel like through this whole bear market, the content creators that have come into this space that are new, the fact that people are building all sorts of projects all over the place for Pulse Chain, it's so bullish. It's so bullish and we're so early. So that's kind of how I've made it, there's been definitely, and don't get me wrong, I'm definitely an optimist and I see the bright side all the time, but there have been at least 2 or 3 times, right, where maybe a couple days, chunks of time where I felt I feel the depression because I'm also an empathic person, right? But I see a lot of infighting and people just being really sad about stuff and people being so
infighting. What are you talking about?
Oh Lord. People just being upset about the price being below SAC and stuff like that, it just that's when it makes me want to step up and be like, hey, there's more to life than this. And that's why I'm doing a lot of the positivity stuff is let's get our minds kind of off of the market. All we can do is wait, right? And DCA in and get healthy and be, I just watched this stream yesterday because I had Brent Nally on my channel a couple of days ago. And Brent Nally is a badass in our community. He is a holder of Richard's coins, but also is super huge into longevity, has his own company, is doing his own thing there. And he interviewed Richard twice. So I yesterday spent time watching the interview between he and Richard on Richard's channel. And y'all, I'm going to clip the shit out of that one because Richard HEX, it's just a stepping stone. This whole crypto thing is just a stepping stone to what he really wants to do in this world. If you all think that Richard is just about crypto, you're so wrong. And that's very much I'm not going to say it's obviously not the last thing on his mind, but it's not his priority in life. And that's a huge reason why I'm just I'm cool. He's smart and brilliant and he's going to definitely change the world, and it might not be through crypto. So he's changed people's lives already through, various facets of, sharing sci-Bible things or creating millionaires like he has. But really, I think this is a much bigger picture and a much bigger play for Richard. And I'm looking forward to seeing that in the future.
I agree with that.
I remember that comment when he goes and says something like, whoa, I found this thing by accident and I wanted to do longevity and wanted to sponsor stuff. But then it's oh yeah, I realized that if you have these kinds of returns and if you have these kinds of new technology coming along, you have to participate. Otherwise, you're going to lose out. It's and then he says all his plans, what he wants to do in general, and he goes something, oh yeah, well, I guess I have to do that now. It's like a side project. Oh, I have to do crypto now. Sucks for me. Sucks for me to get rich and have to do crypto now and do the work. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, so
I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, funny side note on that. It was really interesting listening to him talk about SciVive because at the time, I think that interview was in 2018. And I think he had just, within the last year or two before that, had just finished SciVive. And it was really funny to me because like on that stream, Brent offers to help edit it. And like, you know, and Richard's like, yeah, just here's, I'll give you access to the OneNote and this, that, and the other thing. And I gotta ask Brent next time we're chatting, like whatever happened with that, and like if he just like kind of like, because obviously like once I got to it, I think it was in the same state. Like, so now it's just so cool. Like I had no idea that SciVibe was such a big thing or such a big deal, that Richard cared so much about it. You can really hear his passion for SciVibe and wanting it to be a movement in that stream. So again, that's why I'm going to clip a bunch of it, because it's just like so it makes my heart excited, right? Firstly, the fact that I did this work, you know, just because in a selfish manner, I wanted an audiobook of it, right? Like I wanted that for myself. But then secondly, just knowing that this is something Richard has wanted for years, and I had no clue, and I just came in and was like, let me just do this thing, you know, like, so I'm looking forward to, again, just like seeing what happens with SciVibe in the future.
Definitely. But also, so yeah, definitely a lot more to Richard than just crypto.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But Das Baum, how are you? Because you weren't in the beginning, but obviously everyone here, unless you just came in, which in that case I'm really jealous, was holding at a lot higher. So you know, how do you deal with the correction in the bear market? Because it could be exhausting and it could be depressing. So how are you handling that as a veteran, as someone who's been through these like many times, which is cool.
Okay, so the way I approach things generally in life, and the way I did it for crypto as well, is be informed. So because I had the chance and I missed it, actually, the very first time I was exposed to Bitcoin was when it was $100, 90 to 110. It was just I think it was 2011 or 2012 when it was just coming out of the bear market, and I was just doing nothing for months and months. So this is the same lull as right now, basically. And I fumbled it. I didn't do anything with it. I remember I created the Bitcoin Core wallet. I created the Litecoin wallet, and I was about to buy, but then I just didn't do it because I didn't have enough knowledge about it, and I didn't want to spend too much time on it. It was too fringe for me at that time, and well, later on I regretted it, obviously, because just buying, I don't know, 5 or 10 Bitcoin for $100, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So what I did though is that I informed myself over the years, and I came back to it every now and then, and I found out about the bigger cycles. And in the 2013, 2015, 16, 17 cycle, there were those run-ups and dumps of 40%, run up and dump, and so on. And I wanted to know more about the technology, how it works and everything, get ready for that. And I was waiting for one of those run-ups, and it was the 5K run-up, and I was sitting there and waiting for the dip. And this is how I got introduced basically as the first buyer. It's like, I want to have those buy opportunities, and I don't want to just go in without knowing what I'm doing. So I researched it really hard before I put money into it. But then when the dip happened, I was sitting there at night, actually, waiting for that 5 to 3K, because I was waiting for that 40% dip. And I fell asleep in the middle of the night while it was dipping. Very sad. But I woke up a few hours, 3 hours later, then did my purchase, and then went to bed, and everything was dandy after that. But yeah, if you know in advance what you are dealing with, and if you don't over allocate your amount, if you stay in a healthy zone, that means you got all your expenses planned out for the next whatever floats your boat kind of deal. Maybe it's 1 year, maybe it's 3, 4, 5 years. And ideally for Bitcoin, because of the 4-year market cycle, you should have it at least so that you know you're going to survive the next bear market without having to rely on any extra funds. That means no leverage. You have all your expenses, your car, gas, food, fun little trips, your lodging, your rent, whatever it is, your taxes. You have everything that planned ahead. And if you know that you have security for the next 3, 4, 5 years, then you can do dodgy and risky shit like crypto, which it is. It really is. It's a gamble because we don't know. It could go to zero tomorrow. Maybe I don't know. Aliens come and they say we got something better than crypto. You can sell all your Bitcoin right now. Like you never know. And if you have this general mindset of you are prepared, whatever happens, I'm gonna be fine. This is how you can have this Zen attitude and not be worried around every corner whenever some kind of news event happens. And it doesn't mean that I'm not affected. I do feel the negativity and sometimes the I don't know what do you call it, the bad mojo, the emotions, the depression. I do feel it as well, but I know that I'm gonna be fine even if the worst case scenario happens and I'm gonna lose everything or so, or I don't know, God forbid if I die or something. I would still be fine in terms of my life was set up and it's all planned ahead. The more planning you have in your life, that's how I see it, I guess. Yeah, thinking it through life right now. The more planning you have, the more security you have in life for the future, for the next few years or so, the more you will be okay with the decision that you made, even if you're down minus 99% like we are right now. And then if you set out and your reasons for buying into it because you had those dreams and maybe ideas and you like it so much that you are going in it for the next 15 years, why would you change your mind after a year of downturn? Your resolution should be, this is so good and my reasons for that didn't change. The fundamentals stayed the same.
Right.
I now have a better opportunity to buy in. This is how I would see it at that point in time. And this is how I deal with it.
I like it. I like also that, having not overinvested is what allows you to hodl, because if you're overinvested, you need money, your money's going to come from your investments, which you're going to have to sell. So some really good stuff. But SJ, you want to add to that?
I feel like I kind of touched on it already. Just, same thing applies, right? Like your mindset is really what is important here. And I can't stress enough how bullish it is being in this ecosystem. Like, I feel so fortunate that for me to have come into crypto via HEX, right? I think anyone who starts their crypto journey within this ecosystem is a little spoiled, because I mean, we have got the best community. We've got all these builders.
You got the customer support. The community is the customer support.
Absolutely.
Like, really.
Yep, 100%. So it's just really a great place to be, honestly. Like anyone who's feeling down right now or upset about the price, just hold tight the marker and just know that you're not alone. We're all in this together, and we are going to see green candles. I believe. I actually only have ever felt that emotion of excitement with the green candles once, because I bought as it was going up, and I didn't buy the top, fortunately, but I bought before that, and then bought a little bit. I DCA'd within the months leading up to Pulsechain. I did DCA a little bit more into HEX, which was great. And then this is before Pulsechain.
Oh,
what else was I gonna do? But shoot,
it's okay.
Where was I going with that?
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. I think I started losing my thought before you said anything. Basically, just it's goes hand in hand, right? The fact that Richard's into longevity and that we have a staking mechanism that's up to 15 years, right? Basically, like, just keep in mind that you're not alone in this market, and we're gonna get through this. We're gonna see brighter days. Oh, the green candles. That's what it was. Right before Pulsechain launched. Right before Pulsechain launched, when EHEX did that pump, that was up to 12 cents. That was the first time I ever had that, because you know how people talk about like as HEX was going up. Sorry, 1 second. How people bought as my power is going out.
No.
Basically, like
you guys have to donate so we can pay the power bills.
Yes.
The donation address is in the description.
But how, like in the movie, right? In Highest of Stakes, Kareem shows his staker app, right? And how he had this much money, and then he refreshes it an hour later and he's up like $10 million, or like $1 million or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I never had that experience because I bought as it was going up, and then we went way down. So when we pumped to like 11 or 12 cents right before the Pulsechain launch, that was the first time I ever had the experience of like, holy shit, that's a green candle. I get it now. Now I understand. Like I know what a green candle is and like how that works, but I never had experienced the emotion of seeing my bag multiply in that manner. And holy moly, like it was exciting, and I feel like just having that taste of that, right? I'm really looking forward to figuring out how to DCA out, because that's just as important as DCAing in, right? We have to take profits. So soon, friends. I don't know, 6 to 8 months? Anybody know? No one knows. We don't know.
Tell us about those green candles. I know you gotta.
I would like to add something to that. I'm probably also not the best guy to talk about this in regards to your question of how did you deal with it, and how did you manage the FOMO or the depression, because I have to say I'm a little bit autistic in that regard, because I don't feel anything on the way up, but I also don't feel anything on the way down. So those green candles,
that's a good investor right there.
because of everything is set up, I don't get those high spikes that people seem to experience with the green and the red candles. I'm like, so my initial stakes were also like years in advance. I didn't have anything for the short term or like rolling stuff. So I didn't even bother with that. So it was fire and forget for multiple years, and then I'm like, okay, I'm buying into that ecosystem, and I'm gonna be part of the community. And this is where we're at right now. Like this is where we're sitting right now. This is the ground floor, because even after 4 years, the people are still doing streams. The people are the Pulse Tube, 140 streamers. Everybody is still sharing their sentiment. Everybody is sharing knowledge. And somebody said earlier in the chats, was it Robert or something, lol, about the customer support? I'm not kidding. Here, Robert Keller Jr., customer support, lol, too funny. It's true. Like go try as a completely new user, the first time you hear about Bitcoin is today. You never heard it on your news, never anything. Go try and set up a Bitcoin wallet and try to find which is the best one, which hardware wallet to get, how to secure it. Go find that information on your own without anybody else already being into it. So your first option is probably to go into the oldest type of communication, which is the Bitcoin talk forums. And it's a freaking mess in there, because I tried to go in there and talk a little bit with the guys. There was like 5 people posting again and again and again, but they're just talking to themselves mostly. And there is not a lot of help you can get. It's not easy to get that help. You probably have to be very persistent, and you have to be a special kind of person to get help with anything. Like if you come into the HEX community, you got automatic bot replies, you got all the streamers, you got all the guides, you got people helping you with the wallet systems. Yeah, if there is an error, there is people who already experienced that error, and there is thousands of people that can help you with it. That like customer support is one of the biggest staples that the community can bring to you.
It's actually interesting. So that when I just got in here, I was listening to the Telegram radio, right? The voice chats with Papa B. He was like, I think he's still on top of the customer support and the security. and someone calls in and says, yeah, I use my MetaMask, and he's like for my crypto and for my staking ladder, and like Hobby's like, how to use MetaMask? He's like, I use it on my phone.
Merp. Pulled his own.
He went nuts, and I'm like, oh shit, I use it on my phone too.
Oh, I do have a dedicated
Yeah.
crypto laptop. I've been smart about that.
That's good. Yeah, no, me too now, and I got the ledger because of him. But you talk about customer support, and you joked about where's the best place for customer support?
It's our chats, really. But the main chats, don't get scammed. Don't answer to fake admins. Don't talk in private DMs, private messages. Always ask in the main chat, and then the more clear your question is, the better.
Mhm.
Like, don't ask, oh, my wallet is not working. That doesn't help anyone. I'm
Right.
getting this error. I tried to do this. This is maybe my hash. And I want to happen that this is going from A to B, something like that, like a
Mhm.
complete description. And then you will most likely get the best help. And we set it up anyway that most of the errors or issues like transaction stuck, we got the stuck bot for that. If there is a bridge error, we got that covered with all different kinds of guides there where we set up automatic replies. Yeah, if you just throw in the error message, then somebody can reply, or the Combot replies to you. And if not, there are so many helpful people that are developers, that are creating websites, that are technically savvy, and that are helping to onboard people with any question they might ever have or experience. Even if it's on phones, you should try to get off of phones as fast as possible. But we would even be helpful with the phone guys. Yeah, and then Godspeed to you that you don't lose all your money in the next half year.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome that it's during a bear market. You know, there's such presence of community. How bullish does that make you?
So bullish.
I guess we could start with SJ. How bullish does that make you?
So freaking bullish. I mean, like I kind of mentioned that a couple times already. Like the fact that not only are there content creators that have been there from the beginning that are still currently streaming, maybe not as frequently, but they're still around, right? But the fact that we've had, yeah, right? Like, but the fact that we've had more content creators come into the ecosystem during the fucking bear market and just smashing it. Fucking Ben Dubard, Westcott, ATX Crypto, Furu yourself. I mean, I don't remember. I think you started streaming a little while before them, but Somi, I mean, what? Like, there's so many amazing people out there creating content that are just brilliant and unstoppable, right? And I'm excited to see, you know, what happens when the bull market comes around. You know, like I think there's going to be a big influx of new content creators. There's going to be a lot of people from other communities starting to talk about Hex and Pulsechain and Richard Hart projects. So that's going to be really interesting to see. But I mean, that's just, it's one of the most bullish things I think that this ecosystem has to tout, is the fact that not only are people continuing to be constant in their content creation, a lot of C's there, but also that we've had new people come into this family and, you know, just put out, like Ben's streaming every day, we're streaming every day, we're doing it, you know, like, and why the heck not, right? Like this is a place I think that we've all found some kind of common ground. Like I think that it takes a certain mindset to be into crypto in general and to be into Richard Hart's ecosystem. So it's just bullish AF.
Definitely.
Say about that, yeah.
What about you, Das? What do you think about that?
What do I think about the bullish sentiment in the community?
The community presence in such a bear market, I guess. Is that similar to what you saw in the early days of like Bitcoin and Ethereum also?
No, not at all. There was nothing like that.
So
actually, you had, so in the beginning, well, not, I don't know. I wasn't there in the beginning of Bitcoin, because that most of that stuff happened like in the early days. It was emails. then it was the Bitcoin Talk forums, and then it was Reddit and so on. So I wasn't in there in that time. But by the time that I got in, there were all these little sub communities. You had all the information from Andreas Antonopoulos, where people were gathering around. You had the crypto Twitter starting up. But from my personal experience, most people started to accumulate in like small groups where it was like the Data Dash community, or you had the, I don't know, this project on Ethereum community, or this coin had the Discord, and then there was a few knowledgeable people in there that were building stuff and trying new stuff. You had all those smaller encapsulated stuff. That's where I was going in. And it was nowhere on a level like what we have right now. Nowhere. None of the communities were this wide-reaching and had the pull that our community has, where we are constantly ratioing big people with a lot of subscribers on Twitter, on YouTube, on whatever other platform out there is, on Reddit and so on. We are constantly so in everybody's mind because they're trying to hate on us, but we are still one-upping them every freaking time. Yeah, even while they're coming on it. And this is the power of the Hexagon community. Price doesn't reflect that right now because there is a few bad apples, but I think there's also opportunity in that. Because if you think about it, and Somi talks to that a few times, but I think he never finishes that thought really. He's talking about it behind the back or behind the narrative, where he brings up the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 a lot of times, where he says, yeah, they didn't allow for it to crash. They didn't want the economy to hurt. And what happened is there was no rinsing out of the weak hands. They are saving all the dead weight, all those zombie companies, but we don't have that in crypto. So the farther down you crash, the more opportunity you give to the people that are new, that are coming in, that are the believers, that are the OGs. And ideally, I'm thinking, and I'm hoping at this point, I don't know, but the ideal situation is if you are the strongest believer, you do sell the top and then you do buy the bottom, because you are creating this floor for the ecosystem, because you know with your conviction of what is to come in the future, and you create that lower base after everybody who is a non-believer was rinsed out. And I mean, it sucks for them, but they made the decision. Everybody is ultimately responsible for their own decision. If they say, okay, I'm going to throw away this diamond that I personally think is a diamond in the rough, that I'm going to throw it away for pennies, you are free to do so. Go ahead. And the ideal situation is that the people that are coming new in, that have the conviction, or the OGs, they just keep creating, they keep building the community, they keep developing, they just keep the ball rolling. And the price will figure itself out over time, because we have those high volatility assets. That means we go euphoric, way above what it's supposed to be valued at. And then we also go way under what the value is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the perceived value. This is the high volatility. And this is the first year I'm looking for. Like in the first year of Bitcoin, it was the same shit. It went up crazy and it went down crazy, and probably also destroyed a few people's lives. But then it went on to go to 20,000K, 20K, 60K. Yeah. And I see that the same happening, and even stronger with the amount of people and the community building that we have here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. And yeah, I think things get really so bad that people forget how good things can get and how quickly they could turn around, and like that, the opportunity's gone. So it is important, but the metrics of a crypto that's on its way up a lot higher, I mean, they're all sort of fulfilled in this community. I mean, half the battle is the community being there, and I think a big part also is not having like an insider allocation that just dumps. Because like I was actually saying this also on yesterday's stream, and this is one of the talking points that I got from you Das. You talked about Chainlink, the insiders are dumping, and I think Maker, they have that. Pretty much every coin. It's not really created to go up. It's created, to extract value from the community, from people that created it. But this is a little bit different in the sense that there is none of that pre-allocation and just insider dumping. Would you want to speak about that a little bit also?
This is users. Like you have, if you bought the coin and you took all the risk, that's always been the same mantra, by the way. People think that changed, but no, it's not. Because in the beginning you had the highest amount of FUD. Everybody thought it's a scam. Nobody knew if it's gonna what DOA was gonna do, because you didn't have the conviction or the history of DOA is not gonna dump. You had you just didn't have anything in the beginning, so you had the maximum amount of risk that you took if you were putting money into it, and the payout is also maximized from this. So anybody who bought and then sold anything, they are okay to do so. I think it's completely fine. This is why it's so volatile. Yeah, and it's all users, by the way. This is the big difference that people don't see, maybe, because for them it's like, oh, this big whale or this big address sold. It's Richard selling or whatever. No, it's users. Like in the beginning, if you came in and were sitting through minus 97, 99% in the AA lobby, you took a huge risk because you didn't know if you ever get your Ethereum worth back at that time. Like, it was the biggest risk that you could take. And from the growth of the ecosystem, from more liquidity coming in, more people believing in it, was easier and easier to get into it. And the first big run up to 1 cent, everybody was looking at the charts. Everybody was sitting there like, can we reach that 1 cent target that was the epitome? And everybody who was in from the very, very beginning, the depression was also there, and they said that it will never reach 1 cent. Never. Let that sink in. Yeah. But it went way above that. It went to 50 cents later on. And everybody who believed until then and took those thousands of axes with him, good on them, because they took the maximum risk.
Yeah. And what I like also, I would want you to delve a little deeper into that, because this is the talking point that I got from you, is that, like, we all bought, and we all, most of us have stakes. Many of us have stakes, I guess most. So we want the price to go up. I mean, we want it. We have high expectations, especially because it's crypto, and especially we've been through so much pain. But like, compare it to Chainlink, where maybe the retail has high expectations, but the Chainlink Foundation or Ripple for XRP, they don't care. I mean, they sort of created it out of thin air, and if the price rips a little, they could sort of just exit on the community and keep driving the price down.
I like to compare it with companies where you have a pre-sale for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you already have the money, why would you want to change anything or update anything in the future?
Yeah. That's why stocks also don't go up so much, because every stock that goes public, there's a seed round, and there's like 4 rounds that are getting in at a 90% discount of the IPO, And that same thing is happening in crypto. It used to not be like that, but the same thing's happening in crypto with the VCs. And this is like a completely retail space, which is really another bullet.
And I'm actually not sure if there ever was anything similarly where the product launch complete. At least I don't know of anything, because it was still a lot of development though, because that was a whole chain, and it was easier to, because of the GitLab repo, because who controlled it, it was easier to change something in the beginning. You didn't have that many nodes, and everybody was trusting kinda in Satoshi to deliver the right code. So it was a little bit different back then.
Mm-hmm.
But with HEX, because it's an immutable contract, you had to have it right, and you got something that worked right off the bat. It wasn't a traditional ICO where you got just promised shit and then never delivered. Like with the game example also that I brought, right? You have those what are they called, where you crowdfund money. There is a GoFundMe or something. No,
Just crowdfunding. But yeah,
yeah,
there's different.
crowdfunding. There is a famous website
GoFundMe.
That does it for games and development, or like little trinkets or whatever. And anyway, they set something up, but then you're just buying a promise, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna get delivered on it. Or with big budget production games, it's the same thing. With ICOs, you just have this white paper, and you might get scammed. But with HEX, you have the system set out for you, and then it's for you to choose: do you want to use it or not? How is your risk? What is the risk that you apply to that? And you were able to freely choose that. It's not like you were forced into it. You knew all the information about it beforehand, and then you can decide: do I want this or not? Is it something that I want to use?
Yeah, that's what I really liked also about Richard, was that he said it, like, dips are part of the game. Like, sure, it can dip. It has dipped, and it will dip, and it's dipping right now. But good ones
still
go
buying
up.
dips.
Yeah, exactly.
Still buying some dips.
Delicious dips.
Yeah, and SJ, you're lucky, because, like, I think most people that get into crypto, even if they find a winner and they settle on it, they usually have to go through the meat grinder, where they see those Anon Twitter accounts. You got direct onboard. This was your first crypto?
Well,
so, like, a high trust crypto community.
It was the first crypto that I actually paid attention to. So I, again, thanks to Kool-Aid, back in 2017, I bought a tiny, like, fraction of a Bitcoin. On that was on my own. Like, I've always been interested in the technology. I actually had a boyfriend probably in like 2010, 11. He bought drugs with Bitcoin, right? The dark web, right? So that was my first, like, knowing what it was, or learning about this whole Bitcoin thing, right? And I didn't have any. But then later on, I was like, I like this technology. I like learning. I love to learn. I love being kind of on the cutting edge of things. And I was a huge video gamer. I worked at Blizzard, so I was kind of into tech, right? So I decided to buy a little bit of Bitcoin, and then I think I might have mentioned on Facebook that I had done that. And so Kool-Aid reached out to me, and he was like, "Hey, cool, you bought Bitcoin. Let me show you how to diversify." So with his instruction, I basically went and bought like Cardano and Ripple and a bunch of little things like Lumen, just a bunch of like little coins. Yeah. So I diversified into all that, and then just forgot about it. Like, I moved to Puerto Rico, totally not related to crypto in any way, shape, or form. Moved out to Puerto Rico for a year, and in that year, I was dealing with the hurricanes and crisis and things like that. So I just didn't touch any of that crypto. And I'm gonna say it was under probably $500 that I had invested, at the time. But I think had I been paying attention, I probably would have gone through the meat grinder, because I think I would have made a shit ton of money without knowing it, without looking at it, right? And then lost a bunch of it, right? Like, I all went back to zero or whatever. And then by the time I got into HEX, I don't even know. I'm sure everything that I had put in was super down. So I took whatever I had in that tiny little pot, put all of that into HEX, and then put more, because I had more at the time. So so that was like, my crypto history. So not necessarily my first crypto, but definitely the first one that I decided to start paying attention to and learning about it, right? Like, I kind of just was, like, whatever, oh, this is a thing that maybe will happen in the future, right? But to get into this community, and I think, Das Baum, you were talking about, I don't think this was related to HEX, but just the fact that there's all these little micro communities right? Like one of the things that really drew me in here was the freaking HEX Guild. They're called HEX Guild now. They used to be called HEX Foodies. I think the Telegram group is still HEX Foodies. But before I was into crypto, and in conjunction with crypto, like after I left Blizzard Entertainment, I worked on organic farms. I went to go grow food and teach people how to do that. And I was part of a huge movement called the Food is Free Project. It's still strong. It's all over the world now. Started in Austin, Texas. So for me to have this beautiful marriage of crypto and tech and then permaculture and food growing, that got me hooked. That was the first thing that I was just like, well, this is my people. I've found my tribe. So that was it for me. It wasn't, I wasn't necessarily looking for mad gains. Like I wasn't thinking in those terms. I knew that it has the potential. I knew that it had, I know that it has the potential to do that, right? Again, am still down on my investment, but just knowing that the community, and my pinned tweet goes into this, I start losing my shit and I start crying because I really strongly believe that even if it all went to zero, there are so many people whose lives have been changed and whose lives have been touched and like transformed through Richard's words or things that he's done, that it almost doesn't matter to me. Like if I had to start all over again, I would. So
you see what's possible.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. And also the fact that we're doing this tour, right? Like this is the most wretched bottom of a bear market, right? We're scraping the barrel for, this, that, and the other thing. And I am all over the country telling people about this ecosystem. In fact, I asked earlier, I think it was the other stream, about onboarding and what you guys would use to onboard today, because I was doing my laundry. In fact, I'm going to do a post about this maybe tomorrow. I'm running out of time doing shit today, but that's okay. But I was doing my laundry at a laundromat and started talking to this kid who was working there. And turns out that he had Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Cardano and just hadn't really been in crypto much, or hadn't touched it or looked into it. I was like, bro, have I got a present for you? And he was like, I'm definitely going to buy some. So we have a new onboard. And this was in Crossville, Tennessee, just in the middle of nowhere. That's been the coolest thing on this tour, is that it's been a lot of the smaller towns, a lot of the little places that I've gone to. I've either run into someone who knows about Pulsechain, like they'll come up to me and be like, hey, I sacrificed for Pulsechain or PulseX, or there are people that are really interested in it and really want to just, understand how it works. So that's the coolest freaking thing, is just not just having the events, right, and meetups and things like that. That's been awesome. It's also been frustrating because it's the bear market and no one's interested in crypto, and I'm just like, it's mind-boggling, because this is when you want to buy. And it's crazy because the kid that was at the laundromat gave, when you refresh Staker app and there's all those quotes, right? He quoted to me, "Be greedy when others are fearful." I was like, kid, you get it. You absolutely know what's up, right? That is the sentiment that people should be having. Learn that this is now the time to buy and the time to get in this ecosystem, because we're only going up from here. I don't know when, but I'm bullish.
You're so memeable. You are so memeable. There's four situations already, but that you could make a meme out of this.
Do it.
So the same at the laundromat. I carry this around in my car, 3-4 of them. And whenever I don't have time to talk to somebody, or I just drop them the book and I can go study it on their own,
Yep.
And we got HEX Bond. We got so many people doing the sticker game. We got people talking. We got DCA crypto, dollar cost crypto, talk to people, get the whole red pill on board. That there is so much in that regard. It's crazy, really. There is no comparison to that. And speaking to an earlier point that you brought up, if somebody's hungry, shut up.
It's the cat.
He's gonna get his food now. It's time. Yeah, it's already 6. So the drug dealer who bought with Bitcoin and he left it and he got lucky and he forgot about it and then now he's rich. There is a few people that really got lucky with that, and the most funniest one that I always like to bring up. Furu, can you bring up the screen? So this is the price list, the pricing for the StarCraft tournament some like 10-15 years ago. So yeah, they got first place $500, 250, 150, 100, and then the fifth 25 bitcoins.
Wow.
Fifth to eighth place. So that's fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. So they got out 100 bitcoins back in the day.
Oh my
because
goodness.
it was less than 100, right?
Yeah. What a trip.
If you still kept that, that's trippy.
$650,000
Yeah,
right now.
Easy money.
And that's how I feel about HEX right now. You know, I feel like it's one of those things that people just don't like. That's why I hate seeing like, I know gas is so low on Pulsechain, right? Like, it's so much lower than Ethereum, but I just hate spending Pulse at all. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to let go of any of it. In part, I'm not doing many transactions in general, right? I'm just kind of DCAing. And that's also part of why I don't play around with a lot of these other coins. I mean, nothing against them. I think it's great that people are building, but I don't have the financial means to mess around with anything other than, and people argue that like, oh, but if you put like $5 into Pepe, you'd have this much more money to put into the ecosystem. I understand that argument. I just want to hold. I think that that's a good strategy, and it's a safe bet for me. Like, I'd rather be safe and just do that than kind of divide all my attention, because I barely get, like, confession time. I had to really dig to figure out how to buy Pulse, because I'm, that's part of, like, I don't talk about those things because as technically savvy as I am, right? And I can do it. I did it. It's fine. But I'm out of practice. So that's the thing, is like, I don't talk about this often in terms of like the price or TA or like, how to do certain things. I do want to start doing some tutorials, because if I can explain it in a way that I can understand it, then I think that's going to be a good onboarding tool for other people outside of crypto. I really want to make it kind of the explain like I'm 5 level and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And talking about a bunch of coins, this is now multi-coin community. There's 3. So everybody has different preferences. We got to get into the preferences and why. So I guess, Das, what's your preference? What are the rankings?
I like all my children the same.
Come on, which child's getting the most money? That's what we want to know.
I mean, in terms of bags, it's HEX. Yeah, HEX.
And then what's 2 and what's 3?
Pulse and PulseX. Yeah, HEX, Pulse, PulseX, Inc. I'm still building out. I'm still trying to get more PulseX. That 1-to-4 ratio is so juicy. I'm waiting for it to drop lower. I'm nibbling at it, and I'm accumulating more Inc. because I'm thinking people are undervaluing it a lot. The next time the next farm is gonna open, I was gonna swoop up again like crazy. It's mind-boggling that it even went up to $90 on the first go just because 1 or 2 farms opened up. People are like at the black, what is it? Black sale? No, what is it?
Oh, Black Friday.
Black Friday sale. Yeah.
So why is HEX 1 and Pulse 2?
Oh no, just because you said in terms of economic value, it's just the biggest bag.
But which one are you putting the most money into?
I don't understand the question.
Like
isn't that the same?
All your money, all your dry powder.
Oh, so right now that's PulseX because I don't have a lot of that. Yeah. Right now I'm trying to get more PulseX because that's my lowest position. So I'm trying to equal it out.
But a
Yeah.
lot of people wrote off PulseX. Did you write off PulseX?
No, not at all. I'm just finding that it's a better deal right now because you get that juicy 1-to-4 ratio and you can write the ratio. And overall, it's the one that's lower in USD value. So it has a. I'm always thinking about what is the best deal I can get in the ecosystem and what is the higher ratios. I'm also going against the grain. I don't see a lot of people talk about that or do that, but I buy more EHEX than PHEX because I
What?
think that because
Right.
the multiplicator on that one is bigger. So if you are able to DCA at a good ratio, and I personally think that that the ratio will equal itself out over time, then you get right now with a 1 to
I think 2-to-1 right now.
0.5. That's almost 2
yeah.
to 1.
One.
You get double your bag basically. That's 100% gain in hex terms if you don't care which one is which.
All right.
So I'm taking that bet because it's the what is it called? The anti-proportional play? No, what is
counter
there is a
trend?
name for it. I'm stumped on the word. Doesn't matter. Move on. It has the higher ratio play. Whatever.
Okay, so I disagree, but
I'm just taking that bet.
It is important to remember we did sacrifice for freedom of speech and freedom of movement. So everybody has their own take. But yeah, no, it's some good stuff. And I guess so you're Hex 1. I'm Hex 1 also, by the way. But SJ, what's your picks of the 5? I guess it's 5.
Yeah, because Ink and what else?
Ink and EHEX.
Oh, right. So EHEX, PHEX, Ink, Pulse, all of the things, PulseX. So I was graciously gifted some Ink. I would not, I don't think I would buy it. So
did you trade it for Hex like everyone that's farming?
No, it was just very recently gifted to me. So I'm just going to hold it. I think I'm just going to hold on to it. Possibly trade it for Hex eventually or trade it for Pulse, depending on what that looks like. In terms of like where I've put most of my economic energy into Hex only because I've been doing that for the last 2 years, right? So that is like Das Baum, my biggest bag, right? But at this point in time, I am accumulating Pulse. I think that Pulse is really going to be, it's just so bullish, the case for it, right? Like every layer one, even all these ghost chains that are out there did great, did many X's. And I cannot see like it's inevitable that Pulse is going to moon at some point. Like I really truly believe that. So that's where my energy is going right now. I put in a good chunk for the PulseX stack, so I feel happy with what I've got there. I haven't written it off for sure. I mean, I remember watching a lot of K4K's videos, and I think a lot of what he said still holds true. And Richard is going to, like keep working on things and building and making it all work well, right? So I see that as, something that may be kind of the sleeper, right? Like a lot of people think PulseX is something that people are sleeping on. But yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We got 85 people watching, so smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We need to shill all the social media, but first we need price predictions.
Oh Lord. It's my least favorite thing in the
world. You have the right to remain silent, but maybe held against you. Anything you say may be held against you, but people like price predictions. We know they're dubious. We know they're not usually right, but I think it's good. I think it's healthy to have some, especially positive speculation during massive price downturns. So we could have what to look forward to. So who wants to go first on the price predictions, or not go at all?
I'll go real quick. So
okay.
I want to see HEX to $1.
$1.
I honestly think it can go up to $2. I think EHEX can go up to $2. I think PHEX might actually outperform EHEX, kind of depending on it. Depends to me. It depends on like the kind of on ramps that we have when the bull market comes back, right? Like if we've got some really badass like fiat to EHEX or PHEX on ramps, then I really see both of those just like going into the $1 to $2 range. And of course, this is coming from someone who has like zero experience and knowledge about this stuff. So y'all, this is not.
So you're looking at 3 to 4 combined HEX?
Yeah. I want to say like 5 maximum, like, you know, as bullish as I'd like to be, and I could see that being higher, but I think maybe we get $5 with both. And then Pulse, that's hard. Pulse and PulseX are really difficult for me because I've this is my first crypto cycle. I've never experienced things like that. When people ask me for price predictions, which is very rare because I don't even talk about that kind of stuff on my channel, but when people ask me about it, I usually refer them to looking at the Ethereum chart. Look at what Ethereum did in its first year. Look at what Bitcoin did in its first year or second year, right? Like if HEX is a better Bitcoin, which it is, and Pulse is a better Ethereum, which it is, then, you know, I could see both of those doing similar moves to what their counterparts did, right? Or their competitors did. So
okay.
The end. And PulseX, I don't know. I have no clue.
All right.
PulseX to a penny.
Thank you for the people in the chat, by the way. Contrarian play and disproportional play. Yeah, that was what I was looking for earlier. I'm thinking lower bounds, $1 combined, and probably heavier on the PHEX side. So something like 40 cents EHEX, 60 cents PHEX. And on the higher bound up to $7. Well, that's like moon dream, because we overshot last time with 50 cent above the fair value by so much. It was like 6-8 times or something.
Yeah.
So it might happen again because the market's just so rational. It might overshoot again. It's gonna be interesting.
I just want to interrupt you because I like that you said that, because I think a lot of people come in when we're in that depression and like they say like, oh yeah, HEX might go to. Sami's guilty of this, by the way. I love Sami, but he's guilty of this. He's like, maybe we get 40 cents combined or something. It's like it's easy to say that when the price is down, but this is crypto, and people forget what really happens. I think is what I think it overshoots. It overshoots. Like as the price crashes, the price predictions crash. So people were saying $2. Sami was saying $2, but now it's like maybe 50 cents combined. So I'm expecting an overshoot, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I completely agree. That's why I'm saying it can overshoot to a very high degree, and I'm saying mostly $1 because that's the big level. The $1, it's just like 1 cent. 1 cent was the big level, and then $1 is gonna be the next big level.
And then we go to $50. Imagine that. $56.
Man, I can't.
And
that's also thing, though, right?
What a lot of people also underestimate greatly, in my opinion, is the amount of cycle that the crypto is going through. The first cycle is like the training wheels. You get tested, like we said earlier, you get battle tested. You go through all the shit. You go through all the FUD. You get attacked from every possible angle. And if the community and if the technology, if the coin, if the code can survive all that, then the second leg up, I think, is bigger.
Yeah.
Or at least has the potential to be bigger, because now you are proven in the minds of everybody. Now everybody knows that, oh, it's not coal that I'm holding that has the potential to be a diamond. It is the diamond that I'm holding. So that now it's much harder to sell that diamond. This is This is what I think is happening in the minds of people over time. And this is what happened to Bitcoin over time, because people realized, oh, I'm holding it and it's just getting more and more worth. Oh shit, maybe I should hold it for longer and longer. And I think that's the same is going to happen with HEX because the system is so great.
So
but yeah, first level $1, then $7 at the max. For PLS, I think just out of spite, 10x from SEC day one price, just so that Eric can lose his bet against Hivit. And then people will let go of the price because people just want to buy it up to that. Same as when Hadron went up to this 0.005555 target, and then everybody start dumping on it just because it reached that epitome of funny number. I think that's going to happen. And then whatever PulseX, whatever ratio is in comparison to the 10x of PLS from SAC price. And I'm thinking for Inc, it's going to be easily in the $50 to $100 range again, with whatever pool is then announced next, and then people are just going to FOMO about the thousands of percent in rewards that they can get. People just react to it on the day and they want that farm now immediately, and this is gonna just empty the pools.
Good stuff. So everyone, take your calculators out, type in how much of each you have, and multiply it by the predictions so you can see how rich you're going to be. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I guess people talk about like HEX could go to $20,000, $1 million, and that sounds crazy. It does sound crazy, and it sounds ridiculous. But Richard did say it's possible, and Bitcoin, it did sound crazy. It is important to note that. Do you see that happening? I guess we could start with Das Baum.
So I'm about to time out in your chat. Sorry, I just have to. This Timmer dude, I can't handle.
Yeah, I'm reading him too as well.
More behave yourself. I actually been through with him also, so can't blame you.
Nah, let him cry. Oh, wait. No, don't cry. Come back, Timur. Actually, listen. You're right. You are onto something. Trust into yourself. Believe in yourself. Do the right thing. Go to fiat.com right now and short the fuck out of HEX right
Not financial
now.
advice.
Go do it.
Sell everything. Sell it all.
Non-financial advice. Yeah. Leverage your kids. Leverage your house. What was it that Michael Saylor said?
Leverage the house.
Apologies.
Yeah.
I digress. Das Baum.
Yeah. That was obviously a joke, guys. Don't play with leverage. Yeah, sorry. Can you ask the question again?
$1,000, $20,000 HEX. Is that possible? $100,000 HEX.
$1,000 HEX.
If Bitcoin can do it, HEX can do it better.
I have to think about that. Also, the time frame is important. I would think. Wait, what is 1,000 divided by itself? What is the root of 1,000?
That's 10 times 10. Is it 10 is the square root?
Oh yeah, right. That makes sense. I'm an idiot.
No, that's
no,
not.
Wait. No, wait.
Times 10. No, it's 100. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is it though? No, it's 31.
31. Wow.
Yeah, 31 times 31, right? Yeah, it's almost 100. 31, 32. Okay, so it's 31 times 1. What is 31 times 150K? And we get 4.5 million users. Yes, I believe so. Let's fucking go. HEX to 1,000.
Damn. Yeah, for sure.
Because by Metcalfe's law, if you can 30x1 your user supply, you're gonna square the price, right? Oh wait, it's a little bit more actually, because we're not at $1 or whatever it is. So it's gonna be more access. But can we get 10 million users? Like there is games that have hundreds of millions of users daily that play
Right.
on the phones.
Yep.
So as long as the community keeps working and doing the good job it's doing right now, as long as we are onboarding people, as long as everything keeps working and everybody keeps having fun, I think the sky is open for everybody. And it
Yeah,
can
I
get
mean,
to those ridiculous evaluations,
when it starts
especially when the people don't want to sell that diamond and just want more t-shirts and more t-shirts, especially in cycle 2.
It's true. Yeah, when the price starts counting in dollars, I mean, the next thing is $100. It doesn't just stop because it got too high. I think is. I'm not saying for sure, but it's definitely possible. But SJ, I think I know your answer. What you want to say?
About
she's too busy with Timor.
Yeah, no, that was my, that's it. Like, again, Hex is a better Bitcoin, Pulse is a better Ethereum. Why wouldn't they get to those prices? It makes absolute sense that they're going to. This community isn't going anywhere. It's only growing. I mean, I don't remember if maybe Somi or someone posted recently. Actually, I think it was RH Max posted the number of wallets over the years and unique users. And guess what? It hasn't gone down, y'all. We're still growing. In the bottom of a bear market, we're doing a Pulse chain tour. We have more users than ever. We have more content creators than any other ecosystem, in crypto and probably in other areas also in general. Like I really feel like this is one really solid community of people and just some of the brightest minds. I mean, who?
Thank you. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, for real. Like it takes a certain type of personality, I think, right, to be in crypto in general. But then, like, getting to know the people that I've gotten to know over this last 8 months being on tour, like getting to meet these hexicans and like for example, I don't want to call this person out, but I met someone who's a white hat hacker and just like has all of this like amazing information about how to, like do all the, like, I have never met smarter people in my life. And it's so freaking cool that we're all here together and we're all, gonna continue to, I love our discourse. Okay. Right. I talked about infighting earlier, but really what it is we're so freaking passionate. We're so passionate about what we hold and what we do and like why we're in this ecosystem. Like it's good. It's shitty sometimes, right, to see people just like calling each other out for dumb shit. But at the same time, it's nice to see that like we have people like Marco the Hexican who will like, we have mediators, you know what I mean? Like there's people that care so much about this community and so much about, our bags that, we're out here putting in our own time, effort, energy, and money, regardless of, what's happening with the price right now. Like we're putting all of this in because we believe that Hex can be better than Bitcoin and Pulse is better than Ethereum. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. And I don't see anyone, I haven't seen enough evidence against that. There's not enough evidence to convince me otherwise. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I'm a believer also. I think the sky's the limit. But 83 people watching, smash the like button, subscribe, bell notification. That's my plug. But we talk about the streamers. We have a new HEX streamer. That is BPK Das Baum. He's a new HEX streamer. No, new solo streamer. Was on Discord Syndicate. We're going to plug that. But we need to plug this channel. This has got 131 subs. We got to get to 1,000 subs, man. Right now, I'm putting it also in the live chat. So just click it right now, right now. Click it right now. And if you're watching the replay and the live chat didn't come back yet, it's in the description also. And smash subscribe button and
Can I say
turn
something
on
real quick?
notification, guys.
Just to manage some expectations for you all. Some of the content, it's not entertainment content like on Wake Up Hacks that I do for fun, but this is really information for security and how to onboard people. It's somewhat dry, but it's really helpful. Just so you know what it's about. So if you need security advice, if you don't know how to do it, I'm gonna fill that whole thing up with all the knowledge that I accumulated over the past years about security, setting up hardware wallets, what to do, what not to do, best practices, and so on. It's all gonna go in there. And the biggest part right now is the crypto-only laptop and my first live stream where I go over onboarding someone completely new and what to look out for in general. Yeah.
And we got Robert Brooker says done. Stains 8R, Archie S done. Who else? Could we get some more dones in the chat, please? It's very important to subscribe to new channels and to watch and like, because that's what makes people want to make content, is when they see that they're getting engagement. And that's good for all of us because it educates us on so much information. I watch some of your streams on Discord Syndicate, and I'll say pound for pound per minutes watched, I think I get the most information from Das Baum. You know, in the like it's not even like I watch every day, but just per minutes listened, I think I get the most information. So you guys have to subscribe to this channel right now. I'm gonna put it in the chat again, and we got to get you to 1,000 subscribers. I think that's the first. That's really the once you get to 1,000, I think you're good to go. But we got to get to that 1,000. It's very important. And then next up is a wild SJ at 2,960. We got to get that to 3,000 at the end of the stream. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Let's do it. I love that.
Yeah, we have 79 people watching, so
you have to watch your subs and then wait for the free, and then announce that on Twitter and YouTube and everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah, tell us about the YouTube channel. What goes on with your YouTube channel?
Yeah, wow. So my YouTube channel really began as I was doing Sci-Vive. So that's kind of where it started. And as I was listening to all the other content creators and just kind of doing my own thing, I decided to go ahead and start streaming because I wanted, again, and you know, not kicking myself, but I want to pick up the slack because I actually went back and watched my first stream ever. And y'all, it's a whole different person. When you look at me in that first stream and you see who I am now and today, like, you understand why I got a HEX Phoenix tattooed on my hip, right? Like, I have come from the ashes and really changed a lot about who I am in a great way. Like, I really feel like I'm stepping into just this like queeniverse of ecstasy and magical wonderment. And a lot of that is thanks to the other content creators, especially people like Whales Only. Like, I listened to him pretty much just Whales for like 6 months straight. And I remember him saying,
"Do you understand? Or you still don't?"
What?
That's Whale's signature saying, like, you need to understand. Don't you understand? You don't understand.
For 6 months, did you finally understand?
Yes, and that's why. So
Okay,
it took me. I for 6 months I didn't even know who Richard was because I was listening to these other content creators, and so. But the point being is that I heard him say over and over again that if you had a heart to stream, if you wanted to get more involved in this community and have a bigger voice, then you should do so. Just because someone else is doing content that's very similar to what you want to do does not mean that you shouldn't have a voice as well. We all have our own unique voices. We all have our own unique takes on what it is that we're doing. So started out doing Sci-Vive stuff. I wanted to bring a very basic, like, I think one of the things I started out with was like the ABCs of crypto. And I didn't end up kind of doing that to fruition. I actually should have Black Hexagon on and have her read her book. I actually thought about that the other day, so I got to hit her up and have her do that. But her and her husband put together an ABCs of Crypto book. Super cool. All that to say, my channel is very sci-vive based. You can find there's 2 audiobooks of the same book. I originally did sci-vive just as an audiobook that I'd never done audiobooks before. You can hear birds chirping and dogs barking and lawnmowers going. So there's an original version of it and it's not edited. And then there's a second version of sci-vive that should be higher on the playlist, but I edited as I was reading. So it flows a little bit better. And then I also had taken a audiobook class. So you will hear, it's the one with the like AI generated art right there. Yeah, the lady.
Look at that.
Is that it?
Beautiful.
Ads.
What? Well, I guess it didn't.
Anyways, so yeah, started with sci-vive, and then as I got more comfortable with the camera, and because of sci-vive, right, was learning about longevity. Brent, who I just had on a couple days ago, he was on my stream, or he was on my channel a year ago talking about fasting. And in fact, so real quick plug, at 3 p.m., so in an hour and a half, Das Baum right here. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep this train going.
Oh, is there?
Baum,
did you set it yet? I could link the
go
link
to live.
Oh,
Should be there.
okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna. First of all, everyone has to smash the like button, but and notification. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep this train rolling.
3 streams in a day.
A day. Yeah.
You guys are. What's the secret sauce?
That's right.
SJ, now that you talked about your first stream, you have to go and react to it. You're gonna play the stream and then do a reaction stream. Yeah,
that's fun. Oh, cool.
This is me 1 year ago.
I'll do that. Yeah, no, it's 2. I think I've been streaming for about 2 years now. I don't know if you can find it on there,
okay.
but
whatever it is. Yeah, you say like, this has been me, and I changed this and this, and I talked about this, and this was my mind space. It's like Inception.
Yeah, and it's cool that I'm kind of in the same mind space. Basically, because I spent so much time and energy doing the sci-vive audiobooks, that kind of derailed my own content for a little while, right? Because I was so focused on Richard's book and what kind of how I could bring value to the community outside of who I was, right? Like I knew that this whole book was a thing that needed to be done. And if you guys watch, I linked the Brent Nally and Richard Hart stream a little earlier in the chat, but y'all should really watch that. If you're a Hexagon and you feel like Richard's main thing is crypto, like y'all gotta learn. You got something to learn. I gotta done teach you, because he's really gonna change the world, and I think we're on the precipice of finding out what that's gonna look like. I think this whole SEC thing is kind of just the precursor to how we're gonna see Richard emerge as a greater influencer in this world. But yeah, so basically I just try to keep it positive. I just started streaming nearly every day so that, there would be another positive voice out there telling people, hey, like, you're not alone. There's other things that we can focus on. I'm super into longevity now as well because of sci-vive and Richard. So I want to also try and bring that community right into our ecosystem as well, because there are a lot of similarities in those two communities. So I'm trying to look at bigger picture things and getting it out there that, this is not just a cryptocurrency. This is not just a get rich quick thing, right? This is a community who are building each other up and want to see each other succeed and want to see this ecosystem, succeed. And I believe Hexaco is right around the corner. I really strongly believe that is going to be a realization within, the next five years, easy. Like if it's not Richard, right? If Richard isn't actually building a physical Hexaco, right? I think that we are going to have some sort of decentralized Hexaco all over the world, because Hexicans are going to build.
You already have it.
Yeah.
It's just remote. We need to
go
back to in person.
Remote Hexaco.
No, but let me tell you though.
You had it here first.
That's right.
For the most part, being on this tour, I would say probably 75% of the time, I've been able to stay at a Hexican's place. I've had Hexagon
Wow.
reach out to me and say, hey, come bring the bus here. You can park here, plug in here, right? So to me, that's the foundation, right? Hexaco is already something that exists. So I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Furu, for having me on.
Do you know couch surfing?
This is great. What?
Do you know couch surfing?
Oh yeah, I used to couch surf. Yeah.
They changed the website because of issues and so on. But basically, with the Hexagon network, we got our own couch surfing community. That's crazy.
We should do something like that. I mean, I know people are super crazy about PSYOP and like not knowing where people live, but then there's a whole, I think there's a flip side to that. I think there are a lot of people who would be okay with that. If there's enough precaution to it, right? But I love that idea.
Yeah. And let me just say, I really like SJ's channel. So it's not just the information on Hex, it's very multifaceted. And it's a safe space, okay? I remember during all like the heated stuff happening previously, I didn't know where to go. Like every time I turn on a channel, it's like they're talking about me, and like I get to go to SJ. It's just nice. It's pleasant. It's great. You all have to
away from the
positivity
drama,
is
man.
overflowing in SJ's YouTube channel.
Yes, you all have to go there.
Very pleasant.
There's a place for everyone there. Okay,
Yeah.
It's a safe space.
It's like her home for couch surfing. You could all stay there. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I've got extra space on this bus. If anyone's ever, in the area, you can couch surf in the Pulsechain bus.
Oh, and let's get some sevens in the SJ chat for the Pulse Tube. Okay, let's get some sevens in there. Everyone get your sevens in the SJ chat for the Pulse Tube. All right, we got more links.
Y'all drama queens, you know that?
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Well, I guess while we're doing YouTube channels, we got Discord Syndicate. This is where Das Baum is live every day. It's underrated.
No, not every day.
Wake Up Hex is on every
Wake
morning.
Up Hex. No, it's only once per week. So we had it 2 times per week. But so we had it on Tuesday morning and Thursday morning. But now that Papa B has this Hawaiian schedule and some of the other usual hosts also don't have that time, they switched it to Thursday evening. So now I am still on the morning show, and then whenever somebody has time, they can come around. But it's a little bit junky with the scheduling now. So it's the Wake Up Hex is 1 time per week and Tuesday morning. So I think it's 7 a.m. EST and 3 p.m. European time.
And what about What the Hex? That's
What the Hex is like 8 p.m. European time, and I think 3 p.m. EST, if I'm not mistaken.
And
so
how
it's
many
like during the day. Also 1 time per week.
That's
on
already.
Thursdays. Yeah.
And it's great content. I like this channel is like an aggregator also. There's like tons of shows. There's one for everyone. There's the RG3 has his he streams a lot. There's the Australians, which is very early in the morning. There's Hispanic. This is global. There's the Hispanic Hex. There's Hex Asians. This has really got something for everyone. And if you're living under a rock and haven't subscribed, you have to subscribe. This is like a one-stop shop for Hex content. It's really, really good. So everyone get in there. Discord Syndicate link is posted. Next up, we got Etsy. This is the Baum.
Etsy,
tell us about.
Yeah, if you want a good backup solution for your Hex, for your Bitcoin, whatever, for your seed backup phrase, you can check it out or hit me up. Most of the stuff you can also do yourself. So if you
tell us
if you don't want to buy it, I can help you to source everything. But I also got the complete packet. If you're like lazy and want to save on time, you can get the whole deal, and you get like 3 really good seed backups. And they are stainless steel. A2, 3 or 4.
What does that mean? No, like you have the seed phrase, right? The 24 words.
Yeah.
And what does this do?
Just a quick explanation, but you can find information about that also in the product itself. So instead of having your seed phrase on something like a flimsy paper, or with the ledger or the Trezor, you get like one paper where you write it down. Instead, you get this thing here, and there is a bunch of washers. You stamp the words into metal so that it's earthquake proof, shock proof, fireproof, waterproof, and whatever. So if something devastating happens, and like 2 hexagons already burned their house down, something happened to them, and they luckily didn't lose their seats. But this basically protects you from critical disasters where you would lose all the data from your seeds. And if you have it in metal, you're protected from that eventuality. And ex-wife proof. No, that you have to do yourself. You can make it ex-wife proof as well if you put a simple seed encryption on it. I also provide information about that. I did a stream about that. I'm gonna do a new video about that. As well. But yeah, this is just an addition. I originally researched this for me, so I have the best solution that I can have for me. But then I thought I will offer it as a service if you want that. And you can get that basically all by yourself. You don't need the jig. It's just helpful to have it. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, guys,
I like it, and I'm all about quality, so you get the best thing that's possible.
It's German engineering. Germans are the best craftsmen in the world. Okay, I'm just saying.
I love it.
It says all about quality. It's quality. You hear the accent, guys. This is gonna be made well.
Hey, I gotta take off real quick here. It is getting warm, and I have to go plug in and get my AC going because I don't want to die.
Could we just shill your Pulsechain tour thing? That was the last link.
Oh, please. Yes.
Yes.
Let's fill the Pulsechain tour. It's happening. It's happening all over the United States. I'm really excited for this last leg of the tour. We're doing Charlotte on Saturday. So again, if you're within 8 hours of Charlotte, North Carolina, you have no excuse. Come hang out. Also, this is not just for beginners, right? Like, it is definitely a great tool if you want to bring someone who's never has no idea what crypto is. We go through a very great explanation of what that, like, where it came from and how it works and all that. But also, especially Charlotte and Atlanta, oh man, it's going to be just chock full of freaking alpha. Crypto Sloth and Rags to Riches are going to be speaking in Charlotte. And then Rags, let me look up really quick Atlanta. I think Atlanta is going to be one of the biggest stops on the tour, because it's called the Pulsechain Masterclass. So it's an all-day event. There's multiple sessions, and we're going to have, let's see, Mello is speaking along with
in person, guys.
Yep, in person. Rags to Riches also is going to be speaking. Steve Hitson is going to be there for another one of the sessions. Cosmic Cowboy, dude, shout out to Cosmic Cowboy. That dude is just salt of the earth, amazing human being.
Isn't he stuck?
They're out. They're all out
stuck
now.
in the mud.
They're all they got out yesterday or last night. So
oh boy.
Yeah, they're making it. All these crazy kids. I had a lot of friends out there. It's so funny because I've been told for years that I'd be like a burner queen. Like, I already am at heart, like, a part of that community, but I've never been to a burn. But that's going to change real soon. Really looking forward to a regional coming up here in January. That's neither here nor there. The Pulsechain Tour, ladies and gentlemen, Internet Money sponsored. Love those guys. Yeah. And if you want to sponsor the Pulsechain Tour in any way, shape, or form, hit up Black Hexagon or myself or RG. Our
donation address is in the description.
Yep.
What is it? So, .eth? Something .eth?
Yeah, Pulsechaintour.eth is our little pool fund. That would be. It's tough. Like, RG's really putting a lot of. I mean, he's putting his own money up to do all this. So. I think we're kind of at break even, but that doesn't really mean like that I'm not, because my bus is a wonderful work of art and it's going to get me everywhere I need to go. But good Lord, has it been a struggle bus.
Donate. It's important. The money is what keeps this thing going. We need to support people.
Yeah,
that
and
support
you know,
It's all content. The more
is.
you break the bus, the more content you have.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
very
that's
true.
true, too.
Yes.
We could go
Yeah, but
viral.
the coolest thing is that like me just being like, if I was just driving around in this bus, I feel like I would have a small fraction of the impact that we're having doing the seminars, because people see Pulsechaintour.com, they Google it. I get stopped at every gas station and asked what this is, what I'm doing. You know, we don't know right now. It's hard to see, and it's hard to keep our heads up sometimes, because it's disheartening when we expect, you know, 60 to 100 people and 20 to 30 show up, you know. And yeah, we understand it's a bear market, but it's like we really just don't know the implications of what we're doing right now. You know, this kid I onboarded at the laundromat, right? Like the guys that I onboarded a couple weeks ago in another part of Tennessee, like who knows who else they're going to contact or who they're going to connect or how that's going to work, right? So what keeps me going through this Pulse Chain Tour and what keeps me excited about it is that we just don't know the ripple effect, right, that this is going to take. And on top of that, I keep reminding myself that this is something that I chose to do. And I know that over the next 2 years, I'm going to see the benefits of spending my time and energy and money going out here and like putting, like literally like being the boots on the ground and putting posters up in different places and coffee shops and things like that, right? I'm about to do that in Charlotte tomorrow. So it's so worth it. And if you are anywhere in any of these cities, come out. There's going to be a cruise in December for the HEX birthday. Black Hexagon celebrating her 40th birthday. That's going to be awesome. They're cruising to Cabo San Lucas. It sounds amazing. So definitely check out that. Sign up for that if you can. I think the earlier you get in on a cruise, the better the pricing is. So sign up as soon as you can. I'm not sure how many. I think there's at least 50 people signed up for it already. And we had 110 on the last cruise. So I think we're definitely going to go over that number as we get closer to it.
Get on the cruise.
Yeah, get on the cruise. Check out the links. See if we're coming to your town. Or if you see that I'm going to be traveling. So I'm basically going from Atlanta, so Charlotte, and then Atlanta. And then we are going to Miami. I'm not driving the bus to Miami, though. So right after Atlanta, I'm driving to Dallas. Actually, I'm going to drive to Austin. So from Atlanta to Austin, that's another thing. If you're anywhere on that loop, like if you see that I'm going to be driving from Atlanta to Austin and you live in that area, like anywhere along that route, hit me up. Like, let me know. Let's go have lunch. Let's have a talk. Let's do a mini meetup. I would love to do that. So Austin, Dallas, and then Phoenix and LA, right? Like I'm just cruising all the way through. It's going to be a blast. Like the mini meetups is my favorite thing. It's just like stopping in little towns where, hey, there's a hexagon that happens to live like, you know, outside in this podunk town that nobody else, you know, no one else.
You need to start vlogging. You need to vlog it.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's definitely more of what I want to do for sure. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll do it.
Okay, guys, there you have it. These two of the best in the biz. We got Das Baum, we got SJ. Let me just say my final words is I need to reinstate that everybody, SJ already is established with over 2,000. Das Baum, we need to get over 1,000. He's been putting in work for Discourse Syndicate. He's got his own channel
for years.
For years, and honestly, he deserves to be at 1,000. I'm putting it in the chat again just to reinstate. Subscribe. It's quality content. It's necessary content, and you got to get over 1,000. Make it self-sustaining. We need this content. So everyone, hit the link in the chat and subscribe. Turn on the bell notification, and obviously live in 65 minutes. How come there's only me and Bigfoot in the chat? Guys, hit the like button, get in the chat, turn on the notification. You have to be watching SJ. She's live in 60 minutes.
Ooh, I gotta go.
Again, okay? So everyone do that. I want to see more people in the live chat right now. Click it right now and put a 7 in the chat.
No, put a heart in the chat. That's actually on one of my first live streams. I asked for people to put hearts in the chat, and I forgot that I did that. So that's going to be my thing now.
We're doing a raid. This is going to be very good. There's a lot you can learn. So that is it for the stream. But obviously, thank you guys again for coming on. Hopefully, we could have you on, both of you on soon, either together or separate or
Sure,
both.
that was fun. I gladly come on and just talk good old times and just share cool things. Yeah, it's a very different format from what I'm doing usually. I would be up for that.
Absolutely. And thank you for just letting me on such a short notice also. I appreciate that. I came on, and check out the stream replay. I was on with Das Baum and SJ on Discord Syndicate, but they're going for a triple header. And big shout out to Westcott Crypto.
Third
So
time
I'll
for
be back.
charm.
Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. SJ's on next in 60 minutes. Check out all the links, SJ's Patreon. Everything is in the description. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great rest of your day.